guys, it's your boy Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Hood Dreams TV. On today's episode, you already know, we are doing our reaction, our recap to Season 5, Episode 11 of Chasing Dallas. And if you are new to my channel, Jumbo, I'm so glad to have you. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure that you hit the like button and share this video on your social media with all of your friends and family. So let's go right on ahead and get right into the recap. So we start off with JC, and he's doing a photo shoot with Charles and Miss Netta at his studio called The House of Jones. And he says that he is always rooting for the underdog, calling Charles and Netta underdogs. Let me see. He also called them celebrities, and then he also called them influencers. I'm glad he changed that up because they're influencers. They're not celebrities. Like, they don't have like this big, huge music career, acting career. They are social media influencers. And there's a difference between celebrity and a social media influencer. Let me see. Also, just looking at the photos did come out really, really good. Whoever painted Miss Netta painted her for the gods. She looked so good. Let me see. You know, Netta, she has like a lot of like cysts and stuff on her face and like acne prone skin and stuff. And I don't know if that was photo retouching or if that was just the makeup, but the photos came out really, really good and she looked really good. Oh, one thing that I did notice was Charles was wearing that Balenciaga jacket. You know, the same Balenciaga jacket that JC wore on the cash trip, but his was all black, but with white letters, Balenciaga, and all white letters. So this was the reverse of that Charles was wearing. The white Balenciaga blazer with black letters, Balenciaga. And I was, the whole time when I'm sitting here looking at that, I was like, I wonder if the tag is on the back of that shirt. Because you know, JC had the tag on the back of his Balenciaga blazer when he was at the cash trip. And the camera zoomed in on it. Producers was shady as hell. But they zoomed in on it. And I was like, yeah, that probably got the tag on it too. But, you know, the cameras was in front of them. We couldn't see behind. So who's to know? Shit, maybe they could take it back to the store and get a full refund. Let me see. And I know like stylists and stuff do that all the time. If you don't funk it up. Let me see. Oh, okay. So the next scene we jump to is Ted Lee, and he is showing his friend Adrian a potential new home. His friend is wanting to buy either a bigger home in Dallas or either he's wanting to move to Charlotte, North Carolina. And when he said he might want to move to Charlotte, I was like, don't move to Charlotte. We are booked. We are full. We don't want nobody else. I live in Charlotte. I've been here since 2011. Do not come here to Charlotte. We are booked. We are booked. When I moved here in 2011, Charlotte was everything. It still is everything, but over the years, everybody is just moving to Charlotte, and we are at capacity. Like, they are throwing up these new buildings, especially like apartment buildings. Like, every week they're building a new apartment building, and they're making so much room for people to move here into these apartments. But we are booked. I mean, our traffic is like freaking LA traffic now, Atlanta traffic now, and it didn't used to be that way. So if you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, please don't. We are booked. Let's see. So the house that they were viewing, Ted Lee and Adrian, it costs $611,000. $611,000, and I thought, shit, if you got friends that make that much money, like, we can be friends too. I mean, if you want to move to Charlotte, then I might have to reconsider. You know, I don't mind having a friend that, you know, can afford over a $500,000 house. we might have to reconsider, move on to Charlotte. And then once you get your house, just let me, you know, shoot my first music video in your house, because I'm trying to do music next year. So yeah, come on down here, Adrian. We'll work it out. But Adrian was trying to say that he wants to go in on an offer of anywhere between $580K to $590K, and Ted Lee was like, no, that's too low. On a $611,000 house, that's too low. And when I heard Ted Lee say that, I was like, so is Ted Lee really like a realtor? Because that's really not that low. Like, I've been watching HGTV for years. Like, I love HGTV, and I see houses, you know, where the people, they ask for 20K below the asking price all the time. Like, you never know, you know, what issues you're going to run into as a new home buyer when you buy a house. And there's like all these issues, such as like electrical issues, HVAC, like all kinds of issues, especially when you start busting walls open and stuff. Well, the house didn't look like it needed any walls busted, but you just never know until, you know, you actually buy the house, which is why you need to bring a, what is it called? You need to bring a contractor with you when you're thinking about purchasing a house, so that they can just make sure that everything is up to code, and that there's there's nothing that's going to need replacement once you get the house. But 20K, that's doable. Like, that gives you some wiggle room for you and the owner to go back and forth like that. The owner might counter and be like, okay, instead of $611,000, how about, you know, I give it to you for $600? And see, if you didn't try to push back on that price, they wouldn't have never came down at $11,000. So it's okay to do that, Ted Lee. It definitely is. Let me see. And I got my notes here in my extra backup phone. So the next thing we go to is Sean and Marquise. They meet up and they're having a chat. They talk about really briefly how they don't really have like a personal relationship and they're just catching up. Marquise says that he hasn't seen Sean in a long time. And then they get to talking about the cash trip. Marquise tells Sean that he had got into it. He had issues with Jet Jeff and Ted Lee. Let me see. And I didn't even really catch him having an issue with Ted Lee. I was like, was that on the last episode, or was that when the cameras was off? Because I didn't see him have no issue with Ted Lee. And I know in my last video I said that I'm going to have to start watching each episode twice. I didn't watch this episode twice. I watched it once. In the last episode as well, I watched it once. But yeah, I didn't see him have any issues with Ted Lee. So that must have been off camera. But then when Marquise said that he had those issues with Jet Jeff and Ted Lee, Sean was like, did you have any issues with Robert? And Marquise was like, no, I didn't have no issues with Robert, you know. And he was confused why Sean asked him if he had any issues with Robert. And Sean told him that he figured that he and Robert would have hashed out their issues. But Marquise, at this point, he's confused because he was like, what issues? Like, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any issues. And so if you guys remember that scene, it was a few episodes ago when Marquise and Barbie Bankrose, Ariel, had got into it outside of that club. And the next day, Marquise, he went and removed Ariel from the group chat. And I thought he had removed everybody. He just removed Ariel from the group chat. And Marbert, not Marbert, Robert was like, he wants to find out from Marquise why he did that. But it wasn't given that when the two of them saw each other at the cast trip. Robert never asked him about that. And so that's why Marquise is confused, because Sean knows something that Marquise does not know. And Robert didn't do what he said he was going to do. And maybe it might come out at a later time. But as of this point, Robert has not done that yet. And so Marquise thinks that basically Sean is just trolling him. He's just fucking with him. And he thinks that Sean is just saying something, trying to get a reaction out of him to see what he's going to say or do. And so he's like, basically like, I'm not going to fall for it. You just making some shit up, you know, trying to see what I'm going to say, I'm going to do. Sean did say that Robert had some reservations about Marquise. Sean was just being messy. When I told y'all before, Sean, he has a lot coming his way at the reunion. He has a lot, because he been shady. Let me see. But yeah, Marquise, he did say that at the cast trip, him and Robert, you know, they was kikiing and they had a good time together. So as far as he's aware, they don't have any issues. And so Sean was like, well, I guess those reservations got canceled. Talking about the reservations that Robert had for Marquise. He was like, well, I guess those reservations got canceled. And it was at that moment when I sat back and I realized, I was like, you know what? This show would be so boring without Sean. And there's been times where I just really did not like Sean. I was like, why is he on this show? But he brings the comedic relief on this show, because there's nobody else saying any funny shit. Everybody else is so serious, or they don't got nothing going on. Sean is the comedy. And so without him on this show will be so boring. Let me see. Yeah, he just really gives the comedy that nobody else brings. But they then talk about Sean and JC. Let me see. And Marquise says that he thought that JC and Sean had squashed the beef, but it doesn't seem like they really did. And Sean says that because he's been a part of the group longer, he doesn't feel like he needs to reach out to JC to form any kind of relationship. I guess he wants JC to do the reaching out. However, JC is like older than Sean and makes more money than Sean, is more established than Sean. So I'm guessing JC is like, I'm not going to reach out to this man either. Yeah, he may have been on the show one season before me, but like in real life, I don't want to say better than you, but I'm better than you. I got some more notes. Oh, this is when Sean got into the shade shit. He was like, so, he says that he had sent JC a friend request on social media. And let me see. Oh, okay, my bad. So Sean has sent JC, started following JC on Instagram, and he noticed that after months and months and months, JC never had followed him back, but JC would be watching his stories though. Like, how you gonna be watching my stories, but you hadn't even hit the follow button? Like, that's rude. JC was being shady by that, because he was like, he noticed that JC was following every other cast member on the show except for Sean. And he was like, I ain't worried about it though, because he was like, JC only gets about 20 likes and 8 comments per month anyway. And when he said that, I had a slight little chuckle. I was like, because for Sean, for you to not care and for you to have noticed that he only gets about 20 likes a month and 8 comments, you care, because You went to his page. You had to have did some research to know that he only gets 20 likes. He only gets 8 comments a month. But, hey, I feel you. I'll kind of feel some type of way, too. Why are you watching my stories, but you haven't hit the follow button? That's why you need to make your pages and stuff private. Because you ain't following me unless I approve your friend request. Even with me being on this web series that's about to come out in August, like, fans and anybody that try to follow me, you won't have access unless I approve your request. You can hit, you know, follow request, and if I approve you, then welcome. If I don't, sorry for you. Good luck next time. Because there's too many like scam pages and all that stuff out here. And I done already lost one IG to these scammers and stuff, telling you to click on links and take a photo, take a screenshot and all of that. No, I don't click on no more links anymore. No screenshot, no nothing. I'm going to be very strategic about who I allow to follow me and who I don't allow to follow me. Sean then brings up to Marquise that he heard that Marquise and Ted Lee had a little thing going on at the Cash trip, and Marquise basically, he just crushes those rumors. He was like, he would never with Ted Lee, like never. And then they circle back to Robert Ray and Marquise. And Marquise says that he does feel like he need to have a conversation with Robert. And then after that, he talks about how he has an upcoming catering gig in New York soon with a world-renowned person whose name he cannot say. So hopefully we get to hear about that. We probably won't hear about it until the reunion or the next season. Because the next episode is the finale, so we may not get to hear about it this season, but I guess we'll just need to stay tuned. But JC talks about his fragrance line dropping at the end of the month, and he's going to invite everyone, including the haters. And when he said the haters, I already knew who he was talking about. He was talking about JC. He just wants everybody to see his achievements, especially the haters. And then we jump to the next scene where Robert is finally coming back after not being seen for like a whole episode. Let me see. And he's doing press-on nails for some people that are walking in a ball. And for people that are in the ballroom community. Let me see. And he's on FaceTime with Dior, who used to be on the show. That's his gay brother. And while they're talking, they talk about how Robert has been looking for a shop for his new nail shop. And how he's still looking for one. He also shades Ted Lee a little bit, talking about how Ted Lee took him to a nail shop, but he didn't even have the keys for them to get in to view it. So after that, he found another realtor who has shown him a couple of properties. And he's just, you know, gonna figure it out. So hopefully he does find him a nail home, and, you know, we get to see that next season. Let me see. He also talks about how he is going to be launching his podcast back up again. It's called Chestnut Checkers with Robert Ray. And Dior asks Robert why the podcast, you know, just why it went away in the first reason. And Robert said it was because he had gone through a breakup and life was lifing. So he had to put it to the side, and I can definitely relate because that has happened to me with this YouTube channel. It's been times where I haven't logged in or posted a video in over 6 months because life is lifing. And I'm sure it's going to happen again as soon as I get burnt out. But I could definitely relate. But he was like, he's back at a good place now to where He's ready to come out with the podcast. And so I will be tuning in. And Dior tells Robert that he's proud of him, and he just gives him encouraging words. So the next scene we jump to is where Kesey goes to visit Seven, his boyfriend, at his apartment, and they were talking about the cash trip, and they're just like joking around, and Kesey apologizes to Seven for how they split up in the first place. He acknowledges that what he had did was fucked up and he shouldn't have never did it. Seven, he apologizes for being so controlling, and Kesey tells him that he doesn't feel like Seven is controlling. He says that he just feels like Seven is very dominant. And so I was like, okay, well, if you don't feel he controlling, then I don't either. Even though I kind of agree with Seven for a bit, but hey, I don't know neither one of them personally. I've never been around none of them, but from what I saw on TV, it kind of looked a little bit like Seven was a little controlling. But hey, who am I to judge? If Kesey don't feel controlled, he just feels dominated, then who am I to say? But yeah, so they apologize, and you know, the slate is wiped clean as of right now. Seven is just like, don't do that shit again, or you know what happens. And so Kesey was just like, don't be so quick to like run away from me. So hopefully, you know, with their relationship, they have the type of relationship where they can just talk things out instead of Seven just up and running away from the relationship. And then Seven did do a confessional where he talks about why he ends relationships so quickly. And he was basically saying that his parents showed him that they didn't choose him when he was a child. And so that kind of impacted him, you know, today, and how he, you know, goes about dating. Like, he's quick to cut a nigga off real quick and be on to the, you know, back to be single and happy because of like past childhood trauma with his parents. And I just thought that was really a touching moment to get a little bit more understanding of Seven and who he is and why he does and says the things that he does. Understand just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. And so next we jump to Seven's music video shoot for Hoochie Daddy. And he was definitely being Beyonce. He had dyed the hair blonde. You know, the facial hair was all blonde. He had the blue fur on that he did in his cast photo shoot. And before the cast photo shoot, he was, you know, talking to everybody there, telling everybody that this is something that's very serious and that they need to be serious. And he was demanding that everybody just be like on their P's and Q's, no drama, or else they'll have to deal with him, basically. And that's right, because especially if you had to spend your money on this project, on this video shoot, I'd be damned if anybody come to my shoot and they causing drama and wasting my money just going down the drain. Like, issues would be had. But everybody looked really cute in their outfits. And before the music video got shot, Kesey and Marquise stepped outside to talk about, you know, the issues that they had about the cash trip, where Astro told Kesey that Marquise was backing it up on Seven. And what's his name? Marquise, he squashes all that. He was like, that did not happen. He was like, I'm actually rooting for y'all's relationship. He was like, I like the both of y'all, and that didn't happen. And I just want to see y'all two win as a couple. And so Kesey let it go. He's like, basically like, it's no hard feelings. And then they go back in. But one thing that I do also wanted to let you know was, even before that scene with Marquise and Kesey, there was something that Seven said. He has said he threw a shot at somebody. I don't know if it was at Jeff or Astro or who it goes to, or who that shot was meant to go to. But he threw a shot saying that his music gets about 50 to 60,000 streams and he doesn't have to pay for views. And when he said, I was like, who is he talking about? Because he just made up with Jeff. And who he just fell out with was Astro. But I don't even know Astro to get that many streams. And if he do, then I may be wrong. But I don't know Astro to even have that many streams. I know Jeff does. But I was like, he can't be talking about Jeff because they just made up. But I don't know. So anyway, we jump back to the music video after after Marquise and Kesey, you know, they make up. They go in and they shoot the video, and Seven is killing it per usual. If you watch any of Seven's music videos, he's always killing it. That's, you know, he's always going to give quality. Video is always going to be top notch. Always going to be choreo. Lyrics is always on point. Hair, fashion, everything is always going to be on point. So I didn't expect anything less. Let me see. Yeah, and so basically that was it. That was the end of the episode, and it said that the next episode will be the season finale. So if you guys enjoyed my recap of this episode, please make sure that, again, if you are not already subscribed, to please hit the subscribe button. Also, please just make sure that you hit the thumbs up, which is the like button, and share this video to your social media with all of your friends and family. But until the next video, it is your boy, Raheem the Dream, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Hood Dreams TV. You guys have a good one, and good night.
Anymore. So take it.